a very detailed, long list of instructions and direction that I'm giving ChatGPT to generate entire systems for my business that will be 1,000 times better than what I can come up with in my head. ChatGPT has access to all of this, and it would take me or you years to sift through it all, and ChatGPT can do it in seconds. And that's the real bonus.
Hey, investors. You are listening to the Investing to Win podcast, the show dedicated to empowering investors to achieve financial freedom and live your best life. This show is committed to offering honest conversation between investors, common sense strategies, real-time market updates, and professional guidance to achieving financial freedom. Investing doesn't have to be super hands-on or complicated. We are all about passive investments with real gain, so you have freedom of time and money. Your host is none other than Garrett Wong, who brings decades of experience in buying, renovating, and managing cash flow investment properties. Thanks for being here, and get ready to invest to win.
Hey investors, this is Garrett Wong, your host of the Investing to Win podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about AI, and I have a guest, Carrie Soave. Carrie, how are you?
I am so good. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have you on the show today. So let's start out with just like the standard intro. Why don't you give me the details and the background?
Okay, so I've been a realtor for about 14 years now. I trade in commercial and residential. I'm also a coach, a mentor, and a teacher. So that's really my passion. I have a huge social media presence. I've been running my entire real estate business through all the social media channels. All of my leads, all of my business comes from social media. And it's been like this my entire career. So I decided to teach realtors how to do the same thing. So I started coaching social media for realtors. And then, social media is hard for a lot of people. It's hard for them, especially now that we're into video content creation. And when AI came out, I thought this is going to be great. This is going to be an amazing solution for realtors that are getting into content creation. And then it just spiraled from there. I went down the black hole that is tech, right? We've all been there. And I basically taught myself prompt engineering. I generated entire systems and workflows with AI. So now I'm implementing it into your entire business. So I'm coaching AI now as well. But what's really funny is that I'm getting a lot of business and consulting jobs from businesses outside of real estate now too, because there's a real lack of support and resources. We're kind of just teaching ourselves AI at this point. So that's me. That's what I do. And I'm super excited to announce that as of this week, I am the official AI consultant to EXP and especially their international marketing department. So that's
amazing. Amazing. Yeah, that's a great background. You mentioned EXP, and the reason I reached out to you and EXP specifically is because I know that EXP is kind of on that cutting edge of technology, being virtual and not having the whole bricks and mortar. Can you kind of explain maybe some context of why I probably chose EXP and you as a representative of what EXP is to the tech industry and real estate?
I don't think I'm being too bold as to say that EXP is the leader of brokerages implementing new tech. I think that's a fair statement. I believe they are at the forefront of all tech, which is huge. Look, we have EXP World, kind of like our metaverse, and we've had that in this entire time. So really, who wouldn't want to be at a brokerage that's implementing the newest and the best for its agents?
Of course, you want to work smarter, not harder, as they say, right?
Yes, yes. And that's what AI is. AI is you're working smarter.
Okay, that is a perfect segue. So let's pretend that our audience is listening to this on a Sony Walkman or something, and they're like, "What the heck is AI?" So let's dive into that. What is AI?
So AI is artificial intelligence. Just to clear that up, because you would be surprised at how many people don't know that.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's really an extension of our own brain. Sometimes I explain it as Google on steroids. So, for instance, LLMs, which are large language model chatbots, we know those to be ChatGPT, Bard, which we don't have access to yet here in Canada, but hopefully soon. Um, Claude, all of these LLMs, they are an infinite. They're trained on the world's knowledge, right? And they have basically it's Google on steroids. That's the best way that I could describe it. And it's advancing every single day. I think I read an article that just came out because I get alerts for everything AI right now. That ChatGPT, the base model, so the unpaid version, is now up to 2022 knowledge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's again in the context, because I'm assuming that there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, this AI stuff. Yeah, I've heard about ChatGPT, but I really don't understand it." So, from my understanding of it, when you say 2022, ChatGPT, the original, correct me if I'm wrong, was
Mhm.
kind of a closed database. They kind of took a subset of the internet, and when you ask this AI a question, it can only give you the context. I think back then it was like 2018 or 19
Yeah.
or something when it first came out last year.
Yeah, it was, and now it's obviously advancing. But we also have plugins and upgraded models that give internet access. So really, the knowledge is up to date if you know how to use it properly and how to.
Well, yeah, I mean, I jumped on board really late. Like my director of operations, he's a computer guy, and I'm like, "Oh, this is really well written. How did you do this?" And he's like, Chat GPT. So I jumped on really late and I started using it. And now I'm finding like, why would I use Google to search on anything? Like, I'm an avid fisherman and I want to look at the best, I don't know, techniques. I can go to ChatGPT and it'll literally give me everything in its database within 10 seconds instead of me having to read through forums and blogs and chat rooms. Is that accurate?
Yes. So many people are using LLMs like ChatGPT to do their searches, which brings up the biggest controversial point right now with ChatGPT and AI is how are we as business people, realtors, etc., going to be searchable on ChatGPT?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because it could be a closed system and you just became a realtor last year and you're killing it on social and it can't see you.
No, in fact, the opposite. So it's your content creation across all platforms and the huge presence of a lot of content that is going to show up and make you searchable in ChatGPT, as opposed to what we've been doing for our businesses, which is SEO within our websites, right?
Hmm.
That's my theory.
Yeah, I can't even wrap my head around that. So you're saying that if we're not bigger on social,
Hmm.
the LLMs of the world, and they're evolving every day, are not going to be able to see us.
Yeah,
And that if people are going to be using these search, so LLMs, you said language something model?
large language model.
Okay, large language model. If we're not using these large language models or the public, and they start using these, then they're not going to be using Google, and therefore your traditional SEO websites, whatever, pick whatever brokerage, or even like this is an investor podcast, right? So
Mhm.
investors who are trying to do lead marketing and wholesaling and whatever, they're going to be like, there's going to be a void there, a blank
Yeah,
spot.
the big question is how are we going to be able to maximize our searchability on LLMs through AI, right? And
Okay.
I personally believe that social media and massive amounts of content creation are going to solve that problem.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get into it then. So the application of AI. So maybe explain to us from a general sense to the audience what AI means in the context of the real estate industry.
In the context of the real estate industry.
Yeah, how is it changing? I mean, we can talk about when it came in, but I mean, what do you see every day now in the context of real estate and AI?
So, one of the biggest ways that I'm using it in real estate is data analysis. Large amounts of data being analyzed for the purpose of generating content, um, generating all of your systems for your business. So, I've recently tweaked my listing presentation to not just be a social media expert and having that knowledge, which will is a huge advantage to my sellers, but now I am an AI powered realtor. And believe it or not, I'm having less arguments over price with my sellers now than I did before I had an LLM in my pocket working with me. It's like it's almost
Really?
yeah, it's wild. It's a psychology thing, I'm sure, but people just tend to believe facts and numbers and over opinions sometimes. So that's really helped me a lot. Another
Okay.
way it's helped me in my real estate business is the amount of time it saved me on a daily basis. But and you have to remember, I've implemented AI into my entire business and all of my systems in real estate. So the time saving factor is huge. And then we have a cost saving factor, which is really big because whether you have an admin or you're doing everything yourself, you're going to be paying less money, especially lead generation. Lead generation is costly for realtors. I got to tell you, I've worked with lead gen companies, I've worked with marketing companies, and I'm generating some of the best ad copy and ad hooks and bringing in the lowest cost per lead than I ever have in my career. And that's because of ChatGPT.
Okay, I got to back up here for a second because you had me at a data analysis because as our audience knows, I was a realtor for a few years.
Mhm.
So, you know, listing appointment, you're trying to choose a sale price. Now you're saying people don't want opinions, but I mean, I always used to, you know, I do 3, 6, 9 months previous and I'm showing them all of the comps. But of course, that's a subset of whatever I chose. And everybody knows you can skew numbers by
Mhm.
choosing 6 out of the best 9 in that neighborhood. Are you saying now that you're able to use AI to generate an opinion of value?
Absolutely. So ChatGPT has a plugin and I'm probably talking, a foreign language to most people right now, but there is a plugin that attaches to ChatGPT for an Ontario listing and listing based website here in Ontario because I know you're from Alberta,
Manitoba.
right? Oh, Manitoba.
Manitoba.
So each of our provinces and every state has one. If you plug that in, it gives ChatGPT access to that website and all of that data. So you can have conversations with it around, I do it for my listings that maybe don't have a lot of movement right now. I have it pull the listing, I have it pull comps, and then I have it analyze that data and, you know, give me a summary on where it thinks my price point should be. And, we have opinions but sellers have opinions too. And sometimes data can really make everything click for them. Does that make sense?
It does. They want to
Mhm.
be able to see it empirically, hold it, feel it, right? They
Yes.
don't want to hear somebody's opinion because with the age of the internet, and I'm talking last 20, 25 years, everybody now you go to a doctor's office and people are armed with all this information. I imagine it's the same thing during a listing appointment. Well, you're telling me it's 350, but I just did my own search on realtor.ca and blah, 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 right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm having less of those conversations. Um, as afraid of data, or sorry, technology as some people are, I feel like there's a level of trust there. Blind trust, maybe, but there is a level of trust.
Well, it's on the internet, must be true, right?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So, okay, so data analysis, obviously time saving, because I mean, I'm already thinking and taking notes here because, my other company is a big property management company, and same kind of similar fields, right?
Mhm.
Everybody who's a landlord, they come to us and say, "Oh, I've got the gold faucets. I want $2,500." And I'm showing them comps of 1850, right? And I'm having to do all of these comps myself, which is fine because I have the experience. But to teach my staff, I'm just wondering, like, man, like as soon as I'm off this call, I'm looking to see if there's like a plugin for rental analysis.
Oh, I'm sure there will be. In fact, I found several. Okay, so there are thousands of plugins, okay? And not all of them are worth using. There are some that are, and when it comes to data, those ones definitely are. I did do a search, and I'm sure that I think 5 or 6 property management sites did come up as well. So, yeah, we should have a conversation about this because after the podcast, because
Yeah,
I'm sure I
for
could
sure.
help you out. But I talked about cost saving, time saving,
Hmm.
but there's another factor that nobody's talking about, and I don't know what the word for this would be, but um, you may not save costs, you may not save time, but you are able to maximize and optimize quality.
Hmm.
I don't know what I would call that, but you know, I may go through a workflow and a prompt stack, just so everybody knows that's like a very detailed long list of instructions and direction that I'm giving ChatGPT to generate entire systems for my business that will be 1,000 times better than what I can come up with in my head. May not save me a lot of time. It's not really saving me money in the moment, but I'm getting this optimized product.
Right. And it's probably because ChatGPT is finding other models that are either
Mhm.
working or not working, but at least it's opening your mind to be able to consider those.
Or, one of the things that I do a lot, especially when I'm generating scripts for my team, is I'll have it channel Grant Cardone or Tony Robbins,
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
ChatGPT has access to all of this. And it would take me or you years to sift through it all, and ChatGPT can do it in seconds. And that's the
Hmm.
real bonus.
Yeah. No, I know that I think last week or the week before this podcast, I was just talking about Simon Sinek and Find Your Why. I don't know if you've heard that of him, but it kind of powers what I really believe in, that everybody deserves to sort of come to work every day and be happy. And it'd
Mhm.
been a few years since I read the book, and I had taken my entire team of 20 people, on this really great retreat. But it was kind of fuzzy. And I'm looking at my old PowerPoints and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to ask ChatGPT to give me like the 10 bullet points. And it was like, boom. I'm like, okay. Like it just instantly reminded me, right? So it's powerful stuff.
It is. It is. And then outside of the LLMs and ChatGPT and all these, the big players, we have specific tools, like very niche tools that do a specific job really well. Just to give you an example, video editing tools that implement AI. Or I have a Chrome extension called Better Legal Assistant. So if I get an offer and the agent just threw something in there that does not make any sense to me, I'm pasting it in there and it's going to translate it into layman terms. because don't forget, ChatGPT also passed, the bar and all the
Mm-hmm.
exams, right? So
Yeah,
yeah. So there's
that's
all of
crazy.
these. Yeah, I even have a tool for, sorry, everybody, for the dinging in the background. I cannot figure out, with all of my AI knowledge, I cannot figure out how to put do not disturb on my iMac.
That's all right. That's completely fine. It's this is a real conversation we're recording here, so it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. But I have a tool that will attach to your Zoom and your Google Meets, and it will not only transcribe them, but summarize them, put a funny tone on them, um, give action items, and email all of this stuff out to everybody that was in the meeting, and even plan your next meeting from the current meeting. So there's very niche specific tools out there for absolutely everything. I came across one yesterday on buying the perfect holiday gift.
Wow. Like, how do you keep up? Right? Like, seriously. I mean, we started, I thought, hey, this is great. I discovered transcription through Zoom. I think I was using Otter or something. And I was one of the first people. And people were like, what is this thing that's taking notes here? And that's great. But I still have to, like, it gets sent out to everybody, but it's not planning my meetings and automatically giving action items. Like, now I'm just like, I feel like I'm a dinosaur.
So it's a full-time job. Luckily, at this point, AI coaching, AI consulting, I write about AI for realtor publications as well, and I speak at all kinds of conferences. So this has enabled me to really focus on the AI aspect, which allows me to focus a big portion of my day on research. And that's really the key, because I feel like I'm looking at about 20 to 30 tools, new tools a week that are coming out. First, I have to figure out whether we can implement them into real estate or business, some kind of similar service business. Next, I have to figure out if they work, because the biggest problem with these tools is that they're all startup companies. So they might not
Hmm.
be there yet. They might not be at a point where they'll actually work in our favor and save us time or money or optimize our work, but they will be. So that's literally my job now, is to keep track of all this. And how do regular people who don't do this as a job keep up? They follow me on Instagram, I guess, because I share as much free and knowledge and resources and updates and new features as I possibly can.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely be throwing your information in the show notes, because 20 to 30 new ones every week, you said. Like, I'm guilty of chasing shiny objects. I can't even imagine how you would evaluate and still have time to sell real estate or property management or do what I do for investing.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I think congratulations on you for pursuing your passion, because I think a lot of new business is going to be coming your way, and for people who are going to be AI coaches, because how do you sort through it, right? It's enabling in a completely different industry of consultants.
Yeah. And I really, Garrett, I really do want to point out that we have a lot of people throwing a lot of AI tools at us right now.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that's great. But without any actual direction, these people are going to spend a lot of time and waste a lot of time, not just not save time, but they're going to be massively wasting time trying to figure this all out. So one thing that I do is I make sure that I'm providing workflows. So,
Hmm.
like, here's a shiny new tool that works really well, but I'm going to give you a 10-step workflow that'll take you through an entire system using this tool and maybe two others. Now, that's what's going to save you time,
Right.
not the tool
Right.
itself. And I think it's really important to point that out.
Did you know that there is a big difference between investing in real estate and becoming a real estate investor? People become real estate investors all the time. They get into a flip or conversion project, or even dealing with long-term tenants, and they come back to us to tell us the same thing. It's like having another full-time job. I don't know about you, but that's not what we call investing. Investing in real estate is about having your money work for you in a way that is passive, consistent, most importantly, hands-off. So which one are you? Do you want to be a real estate investor, or do you want to invest in real estate? For those that are open to investing in real estate and having your money work for you, listen up. Garrett Wong has spent decades helping thousands of property owners navigate the ins and outs of property investing and management through his award-winning company, Upper Edge Property Management. Their new division, Upper Edge Capital, is currently involved in multiple projects, from single-family flips to multifamily development. Are you looking for a healthy return on your invested capital, or perhaps becoming a joint venture partner? If so, go to www.upperedgecapital.com/invest to book a time to speak with Garrett and his team to see if there is a fit. Once again, the link is www.upperedgecapital.com/invest. Now, back to the show.
Right, because if you know the top 10 LLMs and somebody else knows what they are because they did a search, you can actually recommend use just this one because this is applicable to your business and it's been out for 3 to 5 years and there's a track record or whatever, right?
Yeah, and especially with real estate, I am a realtor. I do have partners for my commercial and my residential because obviously I need the help. But yeah, I create, because of my knowledge as a realtor, I know what a time-saving workflow would need to look like. So if it's about content creation and creating video to attract business on social media, it's great to give them AI video editing tools and tell them a prompt to put in Chat GPT or how to come up with ideas using Chat GPT. But I take it a step further. So I say, okay, I'm going to make this really easy for everybody. And we're going to rip off viral content and remix it into your voice and post it using AI. And it's like a 6-step workflow. We're using maybe 3, I think there's 3 AI tools in it, but it's a complete system, right? So that's where they're going to save the time.
And get the results instead of, wow. Let's, I interrupted you about 10 minutes ago. You were starting to say, tell us about time saving and sort of the day-to-day operations. Let's unpack that a little bit more. I'll have you do it in 2 sections. Let's pretend that you're coaching a realtor, but also because a lot of my audience are investors. Let's talk about first realtors. How do you envision, or how is this already when you're coaching, implementing into the day-to-day?
Okay, so one of the things that is my specialty is creating these large workflows. So I'm just going to take you through a gigantic workflow that should be done once a month for realtors. Okay. You're going to use ChatGPT. You're going to have the plus version, which is only $20 American a month. It is worth it. I promise you. You're going to enable the plugins, and you're going to use a plugin called mypdf.com. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to upload a market report, your monthly market report from your board. All of our boards have them and supply them. And ChatGPT is going to give you a quick summary of that PDF. Your next prompt is going to be, now tell me how this applies to sellers. Let's choose sellers. Okay. It's going to give you insights specifically for sellers. Now, what demographic of sellers most likely to sell in this current market as per this data that I've given you? It's going to give you a few categories. Then you're going to, hold on, this gets so deep. Okay. You're going to love this. Then you're going to take that and you're going to say, okay, I choose the downsizers. Give me an entire month prospecting plan to hit sellers, this demographic of sellers in this market. It will give you a bunch of different ways. Then you're going to take that and you're going to ask it to generate ad copy, ad hooks, landing page copy, a lead magnet that is most likely to capture the lead of this particular seller, which are downsizers. Then you're going to ask it to generate you a script. Then you're going to ask it the objections and the pain points and how to address those. And this is what an entire workflow would look like. And you do that once a month and then implement it.
Wow. And that's just one workflow.
That's
That's not
just
even,
one.
wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm suitably blown away, and I'm sure my audience is. Okay, so that obviously, I mean, that's crazy. We're not even talking about time saving. That's just life changing for a realtor. I can just imagine.
Yeah.
I can't imagine actually knowing who I'm targeting, why I'm targeting based on market conditions, and then having all the ad copy and the objections that I can walk into an appointment and know exactly what to say and not to say.
Forgot one step. And you're going to generate an auto drip text and email campaign implementing video into it. Like this is, you're getting your entire business plan for the entire month in a 1 hour conversation tops. Now you
Yeah.
have to implement it though, but you can use ChatGPT also to help you implement it. So you can break down each of those steps even further.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because you can reprompt and keep getting and diving
Mhm.
deeper and deeper and deeper into it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's transition over to a real estate investor then. Okay. Just for the workflow, I just want to hear. I just want to spitball for a little bit here
Yeah.
because let's pick somebody who flips properties. How would you envision AI could help somebody in a workflow, just from a once a month type of thing, not just even. I know you can get right down into it, but what would you come up with?
How about I don't have anything like this obviously because I'm
Hmm.
doing way more work with realtors. But off the top of my head, what about having ChatGPT generate say you're in Brandon, Manitoba, is that like a city?
It is. We're in Winnipeg. You should ask
Okay.
ChatGPT, Carrie. What is the capital of Manitoba?
So you're in okay, so say you're in Winnipeg, you're an investor in Winnipeg. You're gonna ask ChatGPT to break down the different classes. I'm not sure how you would say this, but the different classes and of the communities with the
Hmm.
price point and the upside to each section. And then I might see if ChatGPT, if there's a way where they can pinpoint distressed houses or
Hmm.
multiplexes. And I might need a little bit longer to think about how to do this,
Oh, I'm putting you on the spot. I
but
said spitball in here.
I feel like that would be where I would focus my attention on if I was an investor. How do I find the properties? So like what first you got to see here's your city, what areas do I want to be in if I
Hmm.
want this and this results, right? Like this is my end game.
Sure.
Now, how do I find the properties in this section in this community? And now I'm going to generate a plan on hitting them and trying to buy these people's houses.
Hmm. So again, that's prospecting, door to door,
Yeah.
whatever you're going to be doing, generating ad copy that might help somebody motivate them to sell to you, because I'm sure they get
Mhm.
a lot of those little flyers in the mail.
Yeah.
Um, And then ARVs, after renovated values, same type of thing that realtors are doing. But I mean, I don't want to bother my realtors all the time when I'm evaluating a property. Now you're talking about the same type of tools
Mhm.
that can say, okay, I believe that an ARV of this neighborhood with 3 bedroom, 2 bath, full basement would be X if it was renovated to whatever quality, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel
So
like
it's just
that's what I
one
would
workflow.
focus on.
Okay. Yeah, even, if you're a wholesaler out there listening to this, I mean, what Carrie gave you there is just gold if you know the tools and if you know which ones to use. But yeah, what a work. Okay. That's really wow. Okay, let's trying to get back on track here. I had a whole bunch of questions here, but you know how it is. We kind of just yeah, so let's talk about integration um of AI. Like is it just a matter of, for those who are uninitiated, just going and signing up for ChatGPT? And is that where the start should be for somebody? Like, how do you even start getting into it? You've made the decision, you want to start dabbling into it.
Well, part of what I coach and consult in is I have a set of AI systems that I believe that every realtor or brokerage should have in their company. But it's also interchangeable to other businesses too, especially in any service industry. So I think I've got about 8 of them, 8 AI systems, and then I have a step-by-step plan. So for the step-by-step plan, I always start with learning to set up ChatGPT. Because even though there are so many niche specific tools available, those are all getting their information. They're sourcing from LLMs. So the real juice is in learning how to use ChatGPT properly. Because once you
Hmm.
do, the opportunities are endless. So there's a certain framework to prompt engineering to get the best results. I don't believe anybody out there should be buying prompts. Whoever's selling prompts, it's a quick fix and it's not going to do anything for the people you're selling it to. Teach people how to prompt engineer,
Hmm.
you know? So I
Well,
feel
what do
like
they
I would
say?
start there.
Garbage in, garbage out, I think it's a computer term, right? So if you
Yeah.
don't ask the right question, you're not going to get the right answer, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
So really
Let's
learning that is important, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. I wanted to just go back to like a client, right? From their perspective, because you said from the market analysis and the listing price, but can you name other areas where clients are affected, maybe from a service level, obviously beneficial using AI as a realtor?
Absolutely. Streamlined communication. So AI automation is a whole other sector of AI, and it is overlooked. Nobody's really tackling that as much as they should, at least in the real estate industry. I am, and I have streamlined and automated communication systems set up. And then outside, so because people want to know what's going on with their house. And I feel like the biggest complaint that buyers and sellers have, especially sellers, is the lack of communication and updates, right? So that solves that problem. And then we have, obviously, if it's a seller and they want to list their home, they want to sell their home, having the knowledge and the resources to be able to create the best marketing tool, whether it's organic or it's paid material, is going to benefit them. But then what is happening with all of the leads that are coming in for their home? Are they falling through the cracks? No, because I have an AI powered sales bot converting them while I sleep. So it's all about efficiency and just AI literally raises the bar of customer service to a point that cannot be matched without a team of like, oh God, like I'm talking a massive team with one of the best marketing company departments and, their ISAs that don't let anything, it's really hard to match what I've put together with AI.
Okay, so let me challenge you a little bit. I'll play devil's advocate because I'm sure, resistance to change is a human trait. There are people out there who are going to be going to a realtor's website. They're getting engaged with a chatbot. They know it's a chatbot, right? Is there any resistance to that? And is that still better than nobody picking up their phone?
No, because people want the information and they want to get it without having to talk to a realtor. And that
Okay.
may not benefit us as realtors. It may lower the conversion slightly in terms of us trying to bring in buyer leads. However, it's going to maximize the seller's experience. They're going to get their
Right.
property in front of more people and possibly sell it for more money. So you got to kind of
Okay.
weigh the options. And like
Mm-hmm.
something that I'm personally building right now is, I think, something that's going to be super cool that everybody is going to want to interact with. And, we do have AI powered sales bots right now. So your chat bot in the corner of your website or your landing page, or even on your social media, that you ask it a question and AI is answering it as per all of the information that it's fine-tuned with about your business, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that can be a little faceless and, whatever. I think that people are really going to love it when I come out with a chatbot that is a computer generated version of myself and I'm actually speaking the answers from ChatGPT. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
mix of customized AI avatar with ChatGPT responses happening simultaneously. That's what I'm.
But people still know it's AI
Oh
generated,
yeah,
right?
but like, how
But
cool is that?
yeah, but an answer is an answer and it's good, right? So I
Yeah.
guess they'll accept it. Um, just back up for a second there because you said when your sellers want information, they're able to get it using AI. How is like I'm talking updates. Can you kind of explain how that works?
Yeah, it's all automation. So anything that's happening in your business, you can automate. And I think that realtors are missing the mark on automation.
Okay, so if I'm a seller, I'm your seller, and it's Friday, it's been 2 weeks. I'm like, hey Carrie, what's going on with my property? Are there any how many showings have we had this week?
You
Is
won't get
AI
that.
able to answer that?
You won't get that because with AI, I will already have been given you an update on the amount of showings, what's going on with your property. So that's what I think solves the communication problem. Sellers no longer have to reach out to figure out or wait for their busy agent to give them a call. They're getting all of the information in real time.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're
Yeah.
flooding them with information so they don't feel they need to reach out, and therefore the
Yeah, like they
satisfaction is
can
better.
if they want, but it's automated so that they don't have
Hmm.
to call to check in. They have all the information in real time.
Okay. All right. We're flying by here, and in time, I want to ask a couple more questions here.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the future. Um, how do you
Mm.
envision AI further transforming the real estate industry in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years?
So I think that realtors who are not using AI throughout their entire business in 5 years will be left behind. There's no question about that.
It's
Um,
just because of the public's their general acceptance of it. It's like,
yeah, even and if they still have their core SOI that doesn't care about social media and AI and all of the tech that really does a better job for them, then they will not be able to scale their business. That's 100%, right?
no, of course, because
Yeah,
now you are going out to meetings and handshakes, and that, I mean, there's a time and a place for that. But you're right. I mean, it's only so many hours in the day when you have to pick up the phone and make 50 update phone calls every Friday, right?
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the future. And one thing that I said on stage in Vegas that realtors absorbed really well was that our clients don't have to understand AI at all to know that they want their realtor using it. Why? Because they want people they're hiring to do a job to have the best resources and technology at their fingertips. And that's what AI is. It is the best and the most recent technology.
Hmm. Okay. All right. And my other question then is ethics. I mean, the rise of technology comes a discussion about ethics. Are there any considerations or dilemmas in real estate that AI might pose?
Uh, the only thing that comes to mind is fine tuning. So fine tuning is about training LLMs like ChatGPT or other models, AI tools, on your content, on your business, on your knowledge, on your information. And there is a question right now on how safe is that for the company? How safe is that for privacy laws? So there already are solutions in place. There are third-party companies offering privacy guarantees. I don't know exactly what they're doing because if nobody knows this about me, I have zero tech background or computer background whatsoever. So
Mm,
I'm not really sure how to express this, but they're basically a third-party company shielding all of your information into a privacy bubble before it goes into fine-tuning your LLM or your
okay.
AI tool. So there is something in place. Right now, it's costly, obviously, but that will
Hmm.
get cheaper as time goes on, right?
Well, let's talk about that for a second because I've always wondered. So I'm putting a prompt into ChatGPT about my business, right?
Mhm.
Okay, I've got a management company with 25 employees, 700 doors we manage. What is the best way that I can optimize my business for what I call my perfect client? And I get all of these things back. Or let's say that I upload my entire business model up there so they can optimize that for me. Is my business model now kind of just floating out there for if somebody else, a competitor says, "Hey, I have a property management company with 700 doors and 25 employees. What is the best model out there that you can suggest?" Is my information now kind of not the privacy portion, but certainly my model?
It's going to come with its disadvantages, but I think that the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. So let's take, for instance, Mike Sherrard. We all know who Mike Sherrard is, right?
Hmm.
He literally shares his business models on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, everywhere and anywhere. Okay. He is all over the place. And yeah, there's a risk at doing that, but the reward is that he's actually discoverable within AI and all over the internet. So you kind of have to weigh the pros and cons. I joined EXP because I'm about inclusion and sharing and collaborating. So my whole mindset is that there's more than enough to go around for everybody. So I'm not going to look at that as a bad thing. I'm going to be like, here, take it. If it will help you in your business, have it. And in turn, I'm going to be more discoverable as well because all of my information is available.
Yeah, no, I'm of that camp as well. As my audience knows, I put out weekly FAQ videos, hundreds of them out there about
Mhm.
property management, free information. I'm just giving it away. I don't care. I don't need to get any money for it because I'm giving back, number one. And number two, yeah, just getting, I guess, being known as the knowledge expert too is also
Yeah,
will drive people to you, right?
100%. Like there's more than enough for everybody. And yeah, we got to support each other. And I think that mindset always wins out in the end.
Yeah. You know what? We could spend hours on this, and I will be asking you offline some other questions. But let's wrap this up with a question that I ask every guest, and I'd
Mhm.
like to hear what you have to say. So, this is the Investing to Win podcast. How do you define success, and what does winning look like for you?
Oh, wow. I'm winning right now. I'm living my best life. I'm doing what I love to do on my terms. I'm surrounded by my animals and I'm helping people. And, I've figured out that the more people that I help, the more comes back to me. And I'm just in this really great flow and this really good energy and vibe, and I'm riding it. So, yeah, I'm
That's
winning.
awesome. Yeah, and it certainly doesn't feel like work when you are doing what you love, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me for the last 45 minutes. This has been great. I mean, I learned so much with every guest, but you have definitely, I've been taking notes like crazy here. I have so much to learn and research here. And I thought I was a computer geek, and now I'm just like, I'm going off the, I'm going to be chasing some objects here because there's a lot I have to learn. Thought I knew, but I don't. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on. And honestly, anybody, I am an open book. Any of your listeners have any questions, I am available on all my social media channels. Like I said earlier, I run my whole business through social media. Just ask, I will provide.
All right. Well, we'll throw all that information in the show notes, and thanks again. And we'll catch you later.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the episode today on the Investing to Win podcast. Make sure to hit subscribe on whichever platform you are listening to this on. If this episode made you think of another investor, take a screenshot and share this podcast episode with them. Investing to Win is not only about helping you to win more, but WIN actually stands for Wise Investors Network. It's where we help our investors build a hands-off portfolio and have passive investments work for them. To catch the show notes for this episode and see how you can potentially partner with us, go to www.upperedgecapital.com and click on Invest with Us to learn more. Once again, the link is www.upperedgecapital.com. All links can be found in the description below. Until next time.